Heather, obviously, Hannah goes off for a new career high tonight. I know she's a supremely talented kid that's done a lot for this team, but in a sense, was this kind of a game you guys were, waiting for her to have?
Absolutely. This is what she's capable of doing. Just kind of waiting for her to have that moment, and hopefully this propels her, in the start of conference. Maybe that's the switch she needed, and hopefully it gets her going for the rest of conference play.
She mentioned to me earlier in the week that she feels like as she's gotten more comfortable in the offensive system, she's seen her confidence grow. How have you seen that in her?
Yeah, I think she's understanding it more. I've been watching film with her where she's seeing more things. She's asking more questions of like, hey, where can I get this? Where can I get that? And so when you start getting those questions asked, you know that she's understanding the offense more and looking for her shot more, which is what I want.
Going back to that first half, obviously Melina goes off for 18 points, really keeps you guys afloat, especially in that first quarter. At the risk of sounding obvious, how important was that first quarter from her to really keep you guys afloat?
Yeah, huge. I'll be honest, we didn't practice a lot of zone this week. So when they came out in the zone, it took us a little bit to obviously adjust, just to get used to what we were wanting to do in our zone offense. And it was the offense was fine, Mel. And she obviously converted a lot of that. And then once they kind of started to take her away, it was Hannah was able to kind of find those spots that Mel was finding as well, and she started knocking down the same shots.
Team really started to come along as the game went on, especially after the first quarter. What do you feel like kind of changed for the team? Did you guys say anything in between that break, or was it just as simple as the shots that weren't falling in the first quarter were starting to fall?
Well, I think we just settled in. Like I said, we didn't really practice a whole lot of zone, so I think it took that quarter just to kind of understand where the shots were going to come from, where our movement needed to come from. The thing I always say, our defense always keeps us afloat, so we were able to still do the things we wanted to do on the defensive end. Then it just took us our offense to catch up there, and once we figured out where exactly all those shots were going to come from in the zone, then we started really kind of taking it from there.
Last one for me, just to see the way the team bounced back after 2 tough road losses, just how happy does that make you?
Yeah, that's a team that understands, what the ultimate goal is. We talked about after Minnesota, I went in the locker room and ripped the stat sheet up and said it doesn't matter now because conference play is here and everybody's 0-0, and this is where we make our run for March. It starts on Wednesday, and credit to them because they came out and really performed.
You say settling in the second quarter, but you had 29 points, which is the largest quarter you've had all season. Did you play a little faster? Was it kind of a point of emphasis to get some shots up a little quicker?
Yeah, what we talked about there was, I think every time we were able to get a stop was pushing so they couldn't get set in their zone and being able to, take advantage. If that was, maybe a transition layup, but I thought we also got set up on the three-point line, being able to get our feet set. But it was really just trying to take advantage before their zone got set up. But at the same time, once we had figured out that zone, I think our offense just started to move really smooth in that second quarter, and got really easy shots, in the middle of that zone, and they started to really flow.
Obviously, Sandvik had a good second quarter, but you've got a couple shots from Jane Rumpf, a couple from Hyder. How good is it to see more of the supporting cast kind of come along? Yeah,
that's what I've been wanting, and it's awesome that Hannah got 21. Trust me, that's what. But we talk about, I just need that 6 to 8 from a couple other people, and to have Jane give me 8, Lana give me 8, Dirk give me 6, Logan give 6. That's what we need, and that you can see it in the total score to give up 83.
I asked Hannah, if her practice has started to give her some confidence. Are you starting to see it come in practice with her?
Yeah, she's a confident kid. I've seen her make a lot of shots in practice. I think it's just now that, she's really taken that next step in her leadership piece and starting to really hunt her shot more, which is what I've been trying to, encourage her to do, and I think she's now really understanding that.
Yeah, how do you think a night like tonight helps in building the confidence of some of these players that you just mentioned, and just maybe building some momentum as conference play comes along here?
I think if I'm them, I'm going, this only, I'm going, I played well, and I hope that, propels you into Saturday going, hey, coach probably feels good about putting you in, maybe you get some more minutes, but at the same time, I'm feeling good that I made some shots and that I can continue to build on that, and that's what I'm going, hey, I'm going to feel confident putting you in and giving that same performance.
Rebounding, plus 15 for the game, plus 7 going into the half. How's that feel coaching this team so young, taking that control, plus 23 finish on the scoreboard? Just your look finishing this game going into the next game.
Yeah, it was a big emphasis rebounding for us. You know, we wanted to really make sure we kept them at the one and done, but at the same time, we wanted to try and get a couple opportunities, you know, second chances, and you know, we call her Dirk Hather. She gives us so many opportunities, and she goes and gets boards. So, I mean, to get, you know, opportunities that she gives us, I think she kind of fires us up sometimes on that offensive rebounding that everybody else wants to go get one too. So, I love seeing that. And then, you know, I think just when you get a win like this and you get a double-digit win, you know, going into the next one, you feel good.
70% from the line. That continues to be a strength for the Cowgirls. Their free throws. How important will that be through the stretch to the Mountain West Conference tournament?
Yeah, I hope that we can get there more, you know. Getting there only the 10 times, I would love to see that stretch and get there maybe 15. So, but I love that we're converting.
Cowgirls weren't afraid of the paint tonight. A lot of threes, but they weren't afraid to go inside. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it allowed with that zone, given that inside-outside, we were able to get in there and really attack. And then it opened up our threes where we probably for a little bit fell in love with the threes, but then we were able to still get back inside. You know, then they switched to their man, and then we were able to get in our motion where we were able to attack inside again.
Can you see this kind of effort carrying over into the rest of the conference season here?
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm focused on though is Saturday at Fresno.
Yeah.
You know, the big thing that I always talk about right now is probably the toughest game of the year. It's the game before Christmas. You know, everybody probably thinking about, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to do this. We got one more. And the only you know present that I want to think about really is the win at Fresno.
Okay. Thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks,
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.